What's going on, everybody? This is your boy Stay Puff 1983, and I'm bringing back Morituri Monday after a brief hiatus. So today we're going to cover issue 3 of Strikeforce Morituri. This issue, you see everybody on here on the cover. They're ready to go to war. They manifest their powers in the last issue through the garden, and they want to be prepared to go out there into the battlefield and face the Horde. At first, the commander doesn't allow them to go when they get an alert saying that, Horde is attacking, there's Horde activity. They're ready to suit up, ready to go. And as you see, the commander is there talking to them. And then, as soon as they get that Horde activity, the commander shuts them down, saying, you're not going. It's supposed to be in Paris. They was ready to go, and she comes in there and says, no, you're not ready yet. You're not going. Harold, one of the leaders, the leader of the group, he's starting to question himself on whether or not he truly is a leader, because he wonders, if the commander's right, if they're not ready. And then he also questions his leadership and whether he feels that he's ready. So after being denied going, we see a section where the Horde is examining a human head that's actually still alive. And one of the things that came back from the report on the previous attack was that the Horde had decapitated all the people that was there. And now they're doing this experiments to try and figure out more of humans and their methods, trying to figure out how they react to attacks and what their plans are. And, the Horde commander doesn't really care. He wants to take over Earth, he wants to eradicate the humans and take over the planet because he sees that Earth has rich resources. And one of the things the Horde and they need is high sugar in terms of the chocolate. They love the chocolate, they love the sugar. That's one of their needs to, definitely survive. And Earth is full of rich sugars and chocolates and all that. So the Horde is definitely looking to wipe out, human life form and take over their planet. And you could see the head of that person being tortured, and that will come back into play later on in the story. So as the Morituri crew is, just chilling out in the woods, Harold starts to ask questions about his leadership, and he's undecided on whether he feels that he's right to lead the team. And then on the next page, you see that they get the call, and the commander actually said that now it's time to suit up because this time you're going on the field. So they suit up, they ready to go on the field, and Harold starts to feel effects of the Morituri power in him. And you see on this page that his power is starting to activate, and he don't know why. And all of a sudden, he starts to think that the Morituri effect is starting to take place, and he might die before he even get out there in the first mission. And he starts to say, man, this can't happen to me. This is the first mission, and now I might die right now. So he starts to really panic, like he don't know what he's doing. At any given second, he might explode and take his team with him. So they get out to the battlefield and they engage in battle, fighting these robots. And the funny thing is, if you see on this page, the robots has the human heads in it. The Horde decapitated these people, did scientific experiments on their heads, and then actually put them in the robot bodies to have them fight for them. And they're suffering because of it. all they feel is pain and suffering. And the Morituri crew is like, what the hell, man? They use the heads that they decapitate those people and use them for their own battles. That's sick, you know? And it truly is, you know. You can't even imagine a group of aliens saying, we're going to decapitate you, study you, use you as scientific study, and then we're going to throw you on the battlefield in a robotic suit. And while you're fighting, you're in pain because of it, you know? And that's exactly what they all the human heads are suffering, you know? And Harold starts to feel the effect, and he don't know whether or not he's gonna take everybody with him if he does detonate. Because one thing about the Morituri effect, you never know when it comes. It can come at any given moment. And when your powers are manifesting, you might feel that, man, I'm dying, and next thing you know, bam, you know, you take out a whole area of people. You know, it depends on how big the blast is. Sometimes people can survive within close range, but most of the time, you know, if you're really close, then you can get taken out by it. So Harold gets when that Adept is in trouble, so he flies to her aid, and he tells her, he asks her to look into the minds of the people who was in those robot suits, the heads that are in there, and she realized that they're suffering, you know, and that the commander holds the remote that controls them, and if they get that remote, you know, they can stop the robots from attacking them. So all they need to do is take out the commander. So the Morituri group goes through all the hordes and all the robots just to get to that commander. And that's where, what's his name, Harold confronts him. You know, I like this page here, you know, where he confronts the commander and they make eye-to-eye contact. So you know they're about ready to throw down. And it's one thing about this series is that it really shows the human emotion of how they're gonna deal with this situation, you know. And Harold's like, I'm the leader of this team, and I'm gonna throw down. You know, I'm gonna make sure that we win this battle, and that we stop these people from suffering. And he gets control of the remote and throws the commander back into their ship, and the Horde retreats. You know, and then they destroy the remote, which technically kills the people who were in those robot suits, but it ended their suffering because for them to be used that way, you know, they was already technically dead, but their minds were still connected to the robot suits. So by destroying the remote, it pretty much ended their lives and ended their suffering. You know, so it makes sense to just end their suffering as opposed to just taking them in and trying to do more experiments. They already been tortured enough, experimented on. They did not need to be saved. You know, the only way you could save them is by ending their tortured life, and you know that's what they did. And at the end, the Morituri group, you know, they won the day. They won their first major battle. But if you know about the Morituri book, you know that you can win some, but you're gonna lose some, and you're gonna lose lives. And that's the one thing about this book is that once you get attached to a certain character, you know they're gonna be gone because either the Morituri effect or the wages of war against the Horde. And that's what makes this series so intriguing. With all these characters, you start to build up a relationship and the development with these characters, and then next thing you know, by issue 4, issue 5, they get taken out. We're definitely going to get to those issues later on. But yeah, this is my review for Strikeforce Morituri, issue number 3. I highly recommend this series. Again, if you have not read this, I I implore you to at least go to them dollar bins and pick them up, because you can always find these in dollar bins, 50-cent bins. They're all over the place, and definitely give this series a read. If you can get the trade, get the trade, and check out this amazing series. So that wraps up Morituri Monday, issue 3 of Strikeforce Morituri. Hopefully, I'll bring you issue 4 next week, and I'm gonna try and make this a regular thing just to keep doing it, because I do want to keep putting the focus on this series. So that'll be it for today. I'm Stay Puff 1983 signing off for Morituri Monday. Later, people.